Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all YouTube friends all around the world according to your time zone. It's me Arjun. Thank you very much for tuning to my channel. Today we're going to start the new series on CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheet. If you are new in web design, then this video will help you to grab some concept of CSS. Well friend, CSS is the language we use to style HTML document. If you don't know about the HTML, then I recommend you to go and check my HTML video. But be clear friend, it is not a programming language, it is a styling language. Actually, CSS describe the HTML elements, how, when and where to display the web content on the web browser. So CSS helps for presentation and design only. In other words, it controls the layout of the web page. Moreover, it also controls the design layout for different devices and sizes, screen size, that is large screen to small screen. It saves a lot of work to control the layout of multiple pages too. Don't worry, you will know all those stuffs later on when we start doing practically. Well, I have Sublime code editor open here. Let's save this file as index.html on desktop, or you can assign any file name. Now let's open this the web browser, and let's start with basic structural tag, CSS tutorial. We have blank page and only the title is here. The syntax to write CSS is like this. Let me show here. We should have selector, where most useful selector are element selector or class selector or ID selector, and between these curly braces we can write varieties of properties and value. P-R-O-P-E-R-T-Y, property colon then value and semicolon. We can write again property value according to our requirement. This is the CSS syntax. Then let's do practically. Start with element selector. Element selector select HTML element. It means so directly it select HTML element. Let's have here h1 tag, that is welcome to CSS tutorial. Save. Let's open, refresh the browser. We have the title there, and we want to change the color of this heading tag. So we can include the CSS writing through inline, internal, or having the separate file that is external. I'll make separate video for that. Let's start with internal, including through internal CSS. So we use style tag, and between this style tag we start writing CSS according to its syntax. For the element selector, let's have the h1 tag, that is the selector as an element selector h1. It means this for this tag h1, and color property, this is the property, and the value, let's say red. If we save and refresh the browser, now we are getting the red color for that particular h1 tag. But what about h2? This is heading 2. Now this is heading 2. For that, again we can write here h2 direct, indicating that element selector with the help of element selector h2. And let's say background color yellow, like this. And for the color we can use hexadecimal value as well. For example, let's say has df g00. This is the border color. Let's say background color, not here, border color, background color. And refresh. We have the background color according to that hexadecimal color value. And through this element selector, if we use again another h2, this is, as you see in the second HGAD and heading 2, let's say heading 2 here, same style sheet is repeated, applied here for the heading 2 as well. So it's very easy to use CSS to change the style design of the HTML content on the web browser. And another is class selector. We use the class selector with a specific class attribute followed by the period. Let's say here this is for element selector. Now this one for class selector. It means start with period, it means dot, and the name. Let's say my CLSS class, and we can define our, we can assign our own name for the class, and then property value, let's say color, and value is, let's say yellow. How we can call this? Let's say we want to call this in our paragraph tag. This is paragraphs paragraph, and we can call this with the help of this class attribute and the name of the class directly here. Sorry, I need to copy this and paste it here. We should have the yellow color for this paragraph now. Look at here, the text is in yellow color. This is the class selector, and the another one is ID selector. And ID selector uses the ID attribute of the HTML element and written with a pound symbol, that is a hash, that is hash followed by the ID name. Let's say my ID and curly braces, property and value. Let's say background color, that is GRE and green. And how we can call that CSS here? We can call, let's say h4 here, and this is heading 4. We can call that ID with the help of ID and the ID name, that is my ID here, my ID. This heading 4, this content should be in the green background color now. Refresh the browser. look at here. Like this, we can use the element selector with the help of this tag. Directly we can use the HTML tag as a selector, and we can define our own class with a period, that is class selector. But with the help of this class attribute, we can call the class selector, and with the help of id selector, we can call the id. And CSS can be used in three different ways: inline, internal, and external. I will talk on that topic in another video. Hope this video is useful for you. If you have any question or suggestion, do comment below and give a little poke on subscribe, bell and like button, and share with your friend. Thank you.